Hey everyone, it's Dawn here. Welcome back to my daily breakdown of California versus Larry Millete in his preliminary hearing from 2023. Again, the trial is going to be March 2026. So we're continuing today with day 3, just after lunch. JR, Maya's youngest brother, the youngest in their family, is still on the stand under direct. So he's only had about 35 minutes on the stand. They took a lunch break and now we're returning again to JR. He'll be on the stand for several hours. If you are not sure what I'm talking about and I've piqued your interest, to get the context for all of this, a review of the case and all the previous days in my series, go to MM-playlist. That's capital M for Maya Millete, hyphen capital P, lowercase LAYLIST. So let's get started again with JR just after lunch on day 3 of the hearing of 2023.
Did you have a conversation with your sister about why she was going back home?
No.
Did the communication with your brother-in-law continue after your sister went back home?
Yes.
Would you say it was more pronounced during the time that she was living at your house or after she went back to live with him at Sales Scouts? Or if there was a difference? The communication about the marriage problems. Let me rephrase to be more clear. The conversations that you had with your brother-in-law about marriage problems, did they continue after your sister moved back to the home on Sales Scouts?
Yes.
Was the defendant contacting you while similarly about concerns about the marriage while your sister was living at your house for that 6-week period?
Yes, I would think so.
I think you mentioned before lunch there was sometimes calls about where was she or was she home?
Yes.
Was that happening when she was living at your house?
Yes.
So would you say that those conversations or calls from the defendant asking about your sister, did they increase after she went back to the house of Sales Scouts, or did they decrease? Or stay the same?
I would say it was the same.
Did the defendant ever communicate with you by using your sister's social media?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
There was something to do with a for sale quad on Facebook that I had forwarded to Maya because she had mentioned to me that she wanted her own because we've been just borrowing Richard's and Chris's this entire time when we go out on trips to the desert. So, but she wanted her own. So I happened to see one for sale on Facebook Market, and I forwarded that to him and to Maya. And during the conversation with Maya, he jumped in that conversation in Maya's account, and there was some back and forth between him and Maya also during on that thread, on the conversation.
What was the back and forth?
It was like about getting his own account and, that he should not use, I can't remember exactly what was the conversation, but basically she said to get his own account.
Did you know whether or not your brother-in-law had a Facebook or social media account that he communicated on?
Not that I know of.
Okay, this is kind of wild. So JR, Maya's younger brother, was having a conversation on Facebook Messenger with Maya, and Larry pops in the conversation. So he evidently was logging in with Maya's account and had it open on his own device. And so now we're having a 3-way, I didn't even know you could do that on Facebook, a 3-way conversation, 2 from the same account with 2 different people. And he didn't have his own Facebook account, so he was using hers, and evidently aware of when she was getting messages and in a conversation. and just involving himself in that way. So that's pretty wild.
Did your brother-in-law ever express to you in these phone calls about where he was concerned about the marriage that he was worried about your sister leaving him,
Yes.
even after she came back after living at your house for 6 weeks?
Yes.
Do you recall an incident in Lake Havasu having a conversation with the defendant?
There was a time when he approached me in regards, and then he mentioned that he had a conversation with Maya at the time and he said that she admitted to him about her affair.
Do you remember when that was?
It was in the summer. I think it was. I remember it was Melani's birthday. It was in June, maybe like the first beginning of July, during that time.
This is during a family trip to Lake Havasu
Yes.
to celebrate Milani's birthday?
Yes.
What was the context of the conversation that you were having with the defendant?
He just approached me and he's like, he admitted, and she supposedly gave him some details on the relationship, on what she had done with the supposedly affair.
What was he asking you a question, or what was the purpose of the conversation with you?
He was just telling me.
How long was that conversation?
I couldn't tell you, maybe a few minutes.
Did you engage in the conversation? Did you just listen?
I asked what happened, and then I just kind of listened at that point.
How did the conversation end?
There was he did mention that, like, he wanted to get the other guy.
Did you describe what you meant by that?
No,
What did you take that to mean?
as a he wanted to go after him, maybe.
Did you say anything more specific than that?
No.
In August, do you recall getting some calls from your brother-in-law, the defendant, about May leaving the house?
Yes.
Describe what happened during that incident.
I think Council Biddy here.
Oh, sorry, 2020.
I get a phone call. I received a phone call from Larry, and he sounded like in a panic, saying that to come over and help calm my sister down because she had threatened to call the police on him.
How long was that conversation?
I can't remember.
What did you do?
We were doing some errands at that time. After we did our errands, we went to the house to
Do you recall what time of day it was that you got that call?
I don't recall.
Morning, afternoon?
Afternoon.
Did you try to contact your sister? Hey?
Yes.
How many times?
I can't remember how many times.
How did you try to contact her?
I called. I think I called. Yes, I called her.
Do you know whether or not any of your siblings were contacted by the defendant that same afternoon?
That same afternoon. No.
At some point, did you hear back from your sister?
Yes.
Was that by a phone call or text message?
Text messages.
What was, or generally speaking, what was the substance of those text messages? What was her text message response to?
Why is everybody calling me?
Did you provide a copy of those text messages to law enforcement?
Yes, I did.
Can I approach the witness?
Yes.
I'm going to show you Courts Exhibit 4-1, 4-2, 4-3, 4-4, 4-5, 4-6, 4-7, 4-8, 4-9, 4-10, and 4-11. Do you recognize what's shown in those exhibits?
Yes.
What do we see in those exhibits?
Text messages from Maya,
And what is the date of those text messages?
August 12th, 2020.
And are these text messages between you and your sister May?
Yes.
Had you communicated with your sister previous to August 12th by text message?
Yes.
Was this a mode of communication that was somewhat common between you and your sister?
Yes.
I'll show you what's Courts Exhibit 4-1. Project it up there on the screen. Where there's a little orange M to the left. Who is it that is sending that text?
That would be Maya.
So why the hell is everyone calling me? Is Larry convincing you guys again? 5:26 p.m. Does that appear to be the right time and date that you received those text messages from your
Yes.
sister?
So this is interesting. Maya is saying what we've kind of surmised so far in the hearing. She says, is Larry convincing you guys again? In other words, Larry was, as I called it, on a campaign to ingratiate himself with her family, with Maya's family, and have them take sides against Maya, their sister. And we learned that this family is pretty strong. The bonds are strong. That's not likely to happen. But it didn't happen in this case. And Maya was aware of it. But this is another example of how Larry was attempting to isolate Maya, especially more toward the end where he got her family involved when he was not successful with all of his other isolation tactics prior to this.
And then the text message, have you not realized how good he is at manipulating everyone and every situation? 5:27. I'm so tired of his mental and emotional abuse. 5:28. And I keep to myself, but he tells everyone like he's suffering and uses the Bible and God to make sure he controls everything. Are those messages that your sister sent to you?
Yes.
Was it common for your sister to send text messages, that many text messages to you in a row?
No.
Would you say,
Come here.
based on your previous text messages, exchanges with your sister, you had a pretty good sense of her mood during a text exchange?
Yes.
And did you sense, or are you able to, based on your experience and your knowledge and communication with her in the past, was this sort of series of texts from your sister unusual?
It is.
Why?
It's not like her to text in a rapid, continuously. She seemed really upset or angry during that time of the messages.
Looking at 4-2, and you can turn the page of the exhibit that's in front of you. Just to be clear, 4-1 is the same that was projected up on the screen as in the exhibit, Mr. Tabalanza?
I'm sorry.
4-1 in the exhibit in front of you was the same that's projected up on the screen.
Yes.
Looking at 4-2, the next set of messages, did you respond to the messages that your sister sent?
I did.
She sent one more message before you responded. Have you guys not realized that yet at 5:29? And then you said, well, he seems to be the only one talking and he makes it seem like you're a pretty good liar. What did you mean by that?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question?
What did you mean by that response? He makes it seem like you're a pretty good liar.
From the way I don't know.
Was there something in specific that Larry had the defendant been talking to you about something?
Yes.
And was there some reason why you said he makes it seem like you're a good liar?
I guess because Larry had mentioned multiple times about the affair, and she was not. She did not mention anything about it, about the affair, or try to, I don't know, I guess.
Had the defendant said that your sister had been lying to him?
I don't remember.
And then your sister then responds again with 3 different messages. Exactly, I'm tired of it, and he's good at it. He's got you all in his pockets, and I'm alone and isolated, exactly where he wants me to be at 5:31. And those are messages that she sent in response?
Yes.
By the way, this also is matching up with Mary Chris's testimony that Maya was private. She kept things to herself. And then eventually, of course, she did share what she was ready to share. But she wasn't one to run to her family with all of her marital problems. She tried to handle them privately with Larry, which is commendable, quite honestly. But in this case, it backfired on her because he was, as her brother JR says, he's the only one doing the talking, right? So sometimes that's the case in life, where the person who's doing all the yapping is the one who's believed, even though the person who's trying to do the right thing and be dignified and keep to themselves is painted in a certain way, and suddenly they're confronted with all these lies that have been told about themselves, and it's really hard to undo that. Of course, this is her family, and they have a different view of her, but it's just interesting to see this.
And then you responded, well, he's begging me to go to your house to calm you down, quote.
Mhm.
What was the defendant, when did the defendant tell you to go to the house to calm her down?
I don't remember.
Well, prior to sending this text, had you had a conversation
Oh,
with the
yes.
defendant?
Yes.
And so when you said, well, he's begging me to go to your house to calm you down, who were you referring to?
Larry.
When did the defendant, Larry, say that to you, to come to the house to calm her down?
Before the text messages.
Looking at 4-3, then there's another 4 messages sent by your sister between 5:32 and 5:35. And you guys know I hate involving others with my problems. I'm not even at home. I just left and parked at a park just to get away. He wants to shame me back into submission because he can't BEC. He can't manipulate me anymore. He wants all of you, including Mama and Papa, to put me back into place. Don't you get it? When she used the word BEC, what did you understand that to mean? Having texted with your sister before.
Because
Did your sister usually type text messages with capital letters?
I don't think so.
And again, was this unusual to get so many text messages from her in a row?
Yes.
And when your sister makes mention, including Mama and Papa, who is she referring to?
Our parents.
And then you responded, he seems like he's genuinely trying to change.
Mhm.
What did you mean by that?
From our conversation, like he seemed like he wanted to stay with her, stay in the marriage, and he tried. I don't know. I guess.
Have you talked to your brother-in-law about things that he might be able to do to help repair some of the damage or problems
Yes.
between you and your sister?
Yes.
And did it seem to you like he was trying to make those changes?
At the time, I thought that was, yeah, that's what was happening.
Oh, sorry. Yes, sorry, I actually jumped ahead, so I apologize. After that message about Mama and Papa, then actually your next message to her was, well, I'm only concerned about your kids at 5:35 p.m. What did you mean by that?
I was concerned about their kids, how they're gonna grow up with having separated parents.
And your sister's response with 3 different messages after that was, me too, exclamation point. He uses them to make sure he keeps me in my place. It's toxic and mentally abusive. I'm not leaving the house anymore. I'm fighting for my rights now, with 2 exclamation points at 5:36 p.m. That was your sister's response?
Yes.
Is there anything unusual about those responses?
What do you mean?
Well, again, does she commonly use exclamation points and text in that
No.
kind of rapid succession? And then that was when you sent the message, he seems like he's genuinely trying to change. And then her response after that was, you guys have seen it. You've seen how he works, but you chose to ignore it at 5:38. Looking at 4-5, Courts Exhibit 4-5, her next message to you is, I am all alone in this BEC. He knew how to isolate me at 5:39. That's a message from your sister?
Yes.
And then your response, I know, I'm not completely convinced. What did you mean by that?
I don't remember what was going through my mind at that time.
Was this an unusual exchange to have with your sister?
Yes.
Have you ever had a text message discussion that, well, let me back up. Was your sister commonly open with you about personal problems or private issues between herself and her in her marriage?
No.
Would you say this would have been an unusually open discussion about problems or concerns she had?
Yes.
Looking at the next 2 text messages from your sister, 20 years of being like this, and years of doing what he does, and he's got you all convinced that he's changed in a couple of months. His mom is good at it. He's good at it. Papa Leo just does what he's told at 5:41 p.m. Who is Papa Leo?
That would be his father,
His being,
Larry's father.
and this is again Courts Exhibit 45, and then your response is, you're not alone in this. Make sure your side of the story is heard too. What did you mean by that?
She can be that we're she can always come for help if she needs to. She always has us.
Us being her siblings? Her
Yes,
family?
her family.
And looking at
This is really incredibly sad. I've seen this more than one time before, but it still hits pretty hard. And so JR is saying that this is the first time he's ever had a conversation like this with Maya. This was in August again, 2020. So she went missing in January of 2021. So only probably less than 5 months later, she's gone. And this is probably the first time that he's hearing her side of things. And he's trying to assure her that, yeah, well, he hasn't convinced me either, but at the same time, you need to tell us what's going on. And this is just incredibly heartbreaking, and it's a good thing that these texts were saved.
Courts 4-6. At 5:42, your sister says, how? And then your response is, well, you need to talk to us. What did you mean by that? Why did you send that response?
So that talk to us so that her side of the story is also heard.
Were you at that point, did you feel as though you were getting one side of the story?
Yes.
From who?
From Larry.
And then your sister's response again, 3 text messages in a row at 5:42 and 5:43. He never lets me be by myself. He checks all my emails, messages, messengers, FB posts. He even checks my Venmo app. And then what? He'll just tighten the reins more. Are these statements that you'd ever heard from your sister?
No.
Wow.
And then your response was, I've told him many times to stop that. Had you had conversations with the defendant about not using her email, checking her messages, the things that she was talking about in the previous text?
Not to that regards, but to other things
Like what?
like can you ask the question again? I'm sorry.
Had you had conversations with your brother-in-law about things that he might stop doing to sort of try to repair his relationship with your sister?
Yes.
Like what?
Like stop being insecure. Stop maybe just checking up on her all the time because she doesn't like that. She doesn't like to be, um, I guess, always being checked on. And
So you had had conversations with your brother-in-law, the defendant, about kind of maybe not checking up on her so much.
yes,
And then her response, it never stopped and it got worse. That's the bottom of course 4-6. Then looking at 4-7, which starts again with that same message, your response was, well, that's a problem. Why did you think that was a problem if he was not stopping?
yeah, I don't know how to explain that. I'm sorry.
Well, had your sister to some degree expressed to you frustration about being checked up on all the time?
Mm-hmm.
Did your sister like
Yes.
that?
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes,
Did your sister like to be getting calls from the defendant checking up on her?
no,
And so he's not, she's indicating that it's not getting better. You're indicating that that's a problem.
yes, correct.
And then her response at 5:44, I told him I'm gonna go back to the house. If he comes near me or touch me, I will call the police. I don't care if he loses his job anymore. That was your sister's response at 5:44.
Yes,
And then you sent 2 messages. I already told him it's only gonna get worse if you keep it up. He's making it seem like you just want to leave for another dude. And what was that in reference to?
from the stories she told me that she was cheating on him.
And just to
So just real briefly, we're going to hear maybe a little bit more about this, but Larry had been in trouble with his employer, and what she's referring to in this text messaging is that she doesn't really want him to have problems at his job. So part of what she would like to reveal could put him at odds with his employer. They worked for the Navy, so they have very strict rules about behavior and getting into legal issues and things like that. So this is what she's referring to. So she was to some degree trying to protect Larry.
clear the air here. Is it difficult for you to sit here and have to talk about this, about your sister
Yes,
in open court like this?
yes,
Generally, are you and your family fairly private?
yes,
The next message then, which starts at the bottom of 4-7, but is complete at the top of Court's Exhibit 4-8, there's several messages then from your sister. He told you to calm me down at home, and I'm not even there. He knows I'll talk to you guys. He's trying to figure out where I am. See, Jamie? No, he's using that too. Those are all series of messages your sister sent to you that afternoon.
Oh, this is wild. So the text started with JR saying that Larry wanted him to come over to calm his sister Maya down. And Maya's saying here, she's not even home. So look at all these games that he's playing.
yes,
And then the message that starts at the bottom of 4-8 at the top of 4-9 begins, and then a series of messages, those are all from your sister.
yes,
And she says, there was Eric and now Jamie. Anyone that I had any inkling of friendship, he's used. He's checking my text messages, emails, everything. I worked late hours with both Eric and Jamie for PSP and FMAA. He almost ran over Eric in the parking lot. I've stopped being friends with any guys. Now he's concerned with the guys, David Leonard from my current work, BEC. He called me 3 times, and that's BEC because our supervisor told my team. It'll continue on the next page, but those are the messages she sent to you that afternoon.
yes,
So Larry has shown tinges of violence. He does have a past prior to their marriage. We can get into that later, but in any case, he mentioned to JR. JR testified that Larry said he wanted to take care of one of these boyfriends of Maya's, whether it was a boyfriend or not. We're not sure at this point, at least at this point in time in August 2020. In any case, he wanted to do violence. And now Maya is saying that he tried to run one of them over in the parking lot. So this is a second indication or evidence that Larry was willing to do violence against someone.
And then, did you even have a chance to respond?
No.
And she then sends another series of messages. Now he's concerned with this guy's David Leonard from my current work because he called me 3 times, and that's because our supervisor told my team to introduce themselves. And that's from me working 100 from home now. He blames everyone else and everything else for his actions, and he thinks what he does is perfectly normal. He thinks I'm hormonal, midlife crisis, etc. He even thinks I'm hypnotized. Those are all text messages sent to you that afternoon from your sister?
Yes.
So Maya in this text message is saying that Larry thinks she's hypnotized, which is interesting because it was Larry who will come out in later evidence hired someone to try to cast spells on her.
And then you respond, yeah, he seems to find other things to blame. And then the next text message is August 21st, 2020. Was that the end of the series of messages with regard to this incident on August 12th?
Yes.
What did you do after you had that text message exchange with your sister?
We went to, it was my wife and I, Genesis. We drove to their house and we met them in the garage, and that's where we talked.
Who did you talk to?
Larry.
What about your sister?
No.
Did you see your sister?
I don't recall.
So who was in the garage?
It was Larry and his dad.
And Genesis was there?
And Genesis, yes.
What was the conversation?
Just everything about the marriage problems, how she's been wanting to leave, and he had mentioned that they had an argument that time, because Maya had found a cell phone in her car, hidden behind the back seat.
Whose cell phone?
I was told it was Melani's cell phone.
And that the defendant told you they had an argument about that?
Yes.
Did he tell you anything else?
I don't remember.
How long were you there at the house?
Roughly an hour, maybe.
Did you ever see your sister that night?
No.
What was your brother-in-law, the defendant's demeanor? What was his behavior like when you were talking to him in the garage?
He seemed down, I guess.
Was he saying, yeah, you're right, I should just leave the marriage? Or was he still communicating that he wanted to try to work things out with your sister?
Yes, he was still trying to see if he could work it out.
And what were you giving any advice to him?
I don't remember.
Was his father saying anything to him?
Yes.
What were the things his father was saying?
That he should just leave her, that that she was ungrateful.
Oh, wow.
And that he also had mentioned, his father also had mentioned that if they were to get a divorce, that he wanted Maya to change her last name, because it would be embarrassing to their name, to their family.
Counsel, this is a statement by the father-in-law.
It's for the effect on the listener, because it's a conversation with the defendant, not the truth.
Considering it for the truth.
What was Larry's response?
So this is interesting. So when Genesis and JR, his wife, and he went to Larry's home, as Larry was asking him to calm Maya down, Maya wasn't there, as she said in the text message. And he met with Larry and Larry's father. So Larry was dragging his parents into their marriage as well, which is, again, just really bad thing to do when you're having marital problems. Because if you work it out, the parents will never forget it, but you will. So in any case, you can start to hear that Larry's father already had opinions about Maya, and they weren't very positive. This will play out later in custody hearings after Maya was gone and this kind of thing. But it's kind of wild to me that he's over there trying to help his sister and brother-in-law with their marriage, and now the father is saying to Larry, just leave her, which of course Larry didn't want to do. Larry didn't want the marriage to be over. He wanted to continue to control Maya.
To the statements that he should just divorce your sister.
He didn't like that type of response.
Tell us about what his response was.
He just said that that he was all in it.
Let's fast forward now to December 2020.
All right, and that's where we will take our break today. Again, this is my continuing daily breakdown of the preliminary hearing, California versus Larry Millete. And for more context and for all of the episodes, you want to go to capital M for Maya Millete, hyphen capital P, lowercase LAYLIST. Thank you so much for joining me for all of these videos. I appreciate you being here. The best way to get the word out about Maya's case, because she still is missing and her family want answers, they would like Maya back one way or another, is to spread the word about her case. And so if you'd like to do that by sharing this video or the playlist with someone who might be interested in this case, to spread the word, please feel free to do that. Again, I appreciate you being here. And this is episode, I think, 16. So we'll continue tomorrow with more from this testimony of JR in the heartbreaking case of Maya Millete. Take care. Bye for now.